What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? Welcome to the channel, Masculine Pose. Okay, so let's tackle something that has been on my mind to some extent, and is that when the concept of passport bros came up, women was like, okay, we're gonna be passport sisters as well. We're gonna do what you do. You're trying to run away from us. We're gonna try to run away from you, and we're gonna escape as well. Now, unfortunately, women are a little bit, actually, they're really naive as to their place in society. Let me break down some things. The United States, of the United States, the USA, has been enjoying a high status position in the world. Okay? Kingdoms come and kingdoms go. So prior to the dominant country being the United States, there were, kingdoms. Before this was a Roman kingdom, and before this was a Greek kingdom. Before that was the Persian kingdom, and before that, what was there? Babylonian kingdom. So you must understand that everything hits its high, it plateaus, then declines. So, when the passport bros have navigated to other parts of the world, they've come from a kingdom, the United States of America. So they've been tested, and oftentimes black men were the subject of not the best treatment. Let's put it lightly, not the best treatment. So they've learned to survive in rough waters. And because the kingdom of the United States, where you use the word kingdom, the country, made it such that the women were not dependent on the men. Okay, they were dependent on the government. So the women were really sheltered from reality. So, and in every situation, women are really sheltered from reality. That's why women can be idealistic. When men go to conquer new worlds, they don't go with the women and the children. It's after they've done all these things and the women come along, and then the women start to pretty up the house and make the rules, so to speak. But men run stuff. We know that. Okay. So the men, the black men who have been residing in this last kingdom, before last was Rome, now it's America. America's been at the top for the longest time. They've been mistreated by the government policies, the law, and unfair laws by their own woman was used against them. So they developed their resilience. Okay. Oftentimes they would comply when the women would shame them. You're not a man. Man up. You're not. You're a good for nothing ninja type of thing. They would say that, and they would play ball. Now eventually you get tired. It's like the dog that keeps getting kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked, and eventually he just runs away from home. So now the master is used to hollering these insults, right? Y'all come back, you stupid good for nothing. Come back here. Who gonna feed you? But now the men, I'm like, hey, I've always been good. I've carried the weight and so forth. I've been fine. And they're running away somewhere else. Which the women should be really concerned because the men have always been productive. Yes, there's some deadbeats in the community that women use as a focus point when they make the arguments against men are no good, whatever it is. It's funny how they seem to want to get down with the bad dudes, and the majority of the good dudes get advantages, like they get recognized by other races. It's a shame. But the point I'm trying to make is that the same kingdom, the hierarchy kingdom, the United States, the hierarchy country that has been the standard of wealth, opulence, land of opportunity, land of the brave, has made its slaves, the men who have worked there, so strong and resilient, but has made the women delusional. So, should the society forward, the Western society, so it's not just America that's on a decline, the Western is on a decline as a whole. Okay, we had the petrodollar for the longest time in the United States, thanks to the oil, whatever. But now there's going to be other things, especially with CBDCs. There's going to be other currencies on the market. America will have a true position, not as the top, not as the leading, hegemony, not at all. So with inflation going on, but the delusional state of the women means that they don't know what's going on. They don't. Only a few will get it. It has to burn before they get it. And at that time, the men have had enough, and there's no mercy, no pity. The men can only have pity for that which cares for them. You care for your dog that loves you because it was faithful all the time. You care for your son who loves you, but if your son discards you as a ridiculous father, you may still love him, but you know that sometimes you have to let people loose, even family members. Now, what more the women that have been like, daddy this, in place of the man. So the man has felt less than. The female sees herself as superior to. So what does that mean? It means that now the men, as Pastor Brothers, are escaping this Western and the leader of the Western United States. They have a lot more to offer because they've been tried and tested in real waters. So as the decline occurs, whether it's inflation, it's funny because the men are making a good move. You call him Dusty. If he's making 50,000 in the United States and takes it to the Philippines, he's got way more money there. So that's a good move. Very good move. Financial move, absolutely. So now they're being disrespected, they're still being insulted. And at the very last thing, when the women see that this is serious, they're gonna be pleading, they're gonna be fake feminine. But we're not at that stage yet. But at this point in time, the West has produced bad women. You're gonna be like, because it's funny how in every society, women are tend to be quiet. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, but I'm just saying. But just say one thing wrong, and women gonna be triggered. Why? Because it's part of empowerment. Because even in a board meeting, men do just da 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 da, but women feel like they need to just spray it out, just project it out, that vomit, you know. But for the most part, I travel. I travel, to be honest, and I don't see a demand for American women or British women. Yes, of course, dudes be lasting sometimes. They're lusting after these women. They come through when you're traveling, or like when you're in Africa or somewhere. You like, the guys are trying to get something from them, so they don't see them as wife. They don't. Does it occur? Yes, it happens. But my point is, Western women, especially American, are not in demand, but black men are. Why? NBA, boxing, okay, the music industry, entertainers. But the black man's image, even though they've worked on his image to be all thug, whatever, people see the athletes. Okay, they see the cool. Chris Brown is killing it when he's traveling. You got historically, you got Usher, you got all these performers. Now the feminine representatives is trash. Who y'all got? Nicki Minaj. Okay, what's our WAP song? I know what I'm talking about. That's your export. No man wants to wife a wife up that's into WAP. It's not gonna happen. So I wanted to bring in the historical element of Rome. Rome had its opulence, but Rome fell in 476 AD. About that, um, and it was a real kingdom. It was running. Nobody exists. Rome was it. Before that, the Greek Empire with Alexander the Great was it. Okay, so history tells us that kingdoms do fall, and now I believe that the West is in decline, and there's no uprising. It's not like it's always going to pick up again. No, there's a new world order coming through right now. It's a change of guard, change of rules. So, how are the women to be viewed? Well, if they've been raised well, they're gonna get a man. A woman's been raised well is gonna get a man. But since we know that Western women have been protected by the ruling system, the ruling class, to destabilize the male, therefore that's their norm. It's normative for them to disrespect the man. It's normative for them to be rude. It's normative for them to think that the current situation of having money is gonna last. Men know how to keep things simple. I need my nails did. I need my weave. Yeah, those days could be over when the economy starts to go down, especially with the fact that there's a possibility of a war. There already is a war in Ukraine that America is fighting, and then another one in Taiwan against China, then another one with Israel versus Palestine. You cannot be producing that many weapons to supply to everybody and keep war on all fronts. At some point, you're going to suffer at home. The point of this message is that the feminines, the females of the Western culture, have been sport brats that they render themselves useless. I'm not saying women are useless. I'm saying that the system has allowed them to believe whatever delusionment they have, to even believe that they're empowered. Like the thing they call empowered is the thing the men despise. And the men say, stop that. And they're like, no, you're trying to limit me, my ability. You're trying to stop me from having my full power. But yeah, you have no say on the real things that run the world. Yeah, like I don't want to come across as misogynist and so forth, but I just see the word for what it is. You know what I mean? Like I deal with guys who in the army, you know, they see some stuff, and retired guys from the army, and contractors. So there's a delusionment that's happening in the West, and only a few women will survive this because most women, the thing that you need is a man. You mean to say you don't, but trust me, you do. Because men naturally protect women, and then when they stop protecting you, protecting somebody else in a different country who has the things that you're supposed to have, there's no returning back, and there's no amount of insults that you can do that. So what does that mean to the men? If the West is falling, men can spread their wings, take their money where it's going to bring more value. Take your money, it's going to bring more value, and move cautiously and make sure that you protect your bread and then expand it and replicate it, whatever business you go into. But there's a changing order right now. It's playing out financially, even food wise, logistics. How do we have so many fires burned down all these factories? You don't see it. All this war is about to be fought, and you want to disrespect your man, and you think you're gonna be still around. Anyway, so the point I was trying to bring is the wasting of the femininity has been done from the Western side, but femininity still exists. Yes, the feminism still is like the feminism software is active all over the world. Okay, it's active all over the world, but it's at different grades in different parts. So men are still be able to experience that. The Western women will be able to fake it at some point, but men will know what's real and what's not. Those I pray that as a man, don't be a victim of them, the ones who enjoy privilege, because they've always been there simping, just waiting to get for the crumbs. Because it'd be a shame for a man to just be involved in something that saving somebody who never really cared about them, because that's what they'll do as a survival instinct. I know this video is a little bit longer than normal, but I wanted to bring that out and highlight that using different examples. But men, be alerted, be alert to know that there's a changing order. Work hard on the right things. Take your money where it's going to add value. See, the whole passport thing. Even if you remove the woman out of the equation, it's about extending your money, extending your resources, and then sharing the resources with somebody who values and appreciates you. Not somebody who's going to be like, yo, let's go buy some oysters, okay? Or you need to take me to a fancy dinner, you know what I mean? So already you're failing at that. So men, this is the channel for men. I encourage you to explore otherwise because the Western society is falling. It's not tomorrow, but it's happening. And the product of the female counterpart of us, is not well prepared for what's going on ahead. But men, just be ready. Don't be that dude that comes and cleans up after all the mess is gone. I mean, all the mess has been done. All right. Peace, love, and blessings.